What a lovely day!
Welcome to Flat Earth Debate Live. I'm your host, Nathan Oakley, and if you are new to this channel, or you've not done so already, then be sure to subscribe. Hit the bell notification icon and join button if you'd like to become a Nathan Oakley 1980 channel member and keep up to date with the Flat Earth Debate. If you would like to support the channel, there is a super chat that runs alongside each of these shows while they are live, and there's also a PayPal, Patreon, crypto and thanks button in the info box below the video. Most importantly, if you'd like to join the discussion, simply mute the page you are currently watching, then click the link in the info box below this video to join the panel and express your views on the nature of Earth. If you do join, please don't swear. If you do, you'll be ejected, and if you are, please don't try to rejoin the stream using sock accounts. You'll be warmly welcome back on the next stream. Please also share the show on social media. Sharing the show obviously increases the live audience, but this in turn increases the chances of a more diverse panel, so please share the show on Facebook and Twitter. Now, we are joined by Neil, Refracted Curvature, Original D-Rose, 10th Man, Righteous Force, Chocolate Saiyan, and a whole bunch of people in Discord, so welcome one and all.
Good morning, good morning.
Good morning.
Yo.
I can make things orbit.
Oh, in jokes immediately. Okay, just for the audience's benefit, I've got to do it immediately before housekeeping. Because of John, not normally characteristic of him, but there we go. So before we started the live show, we were discussing Witsit Gets It, who, as a flat earther, has offended quite a lot of the panel. I don't care about this, I can't be honest. I don't know why I'm so nonchalant about Witsit's current behaviour. Probably because my computer's working really well. But either way, the panel have got a little bit hot under the collar, let's say, because orbits is something that a flat earth is currently declaring with electrostatic incoherent dielectric accelerative forces, as they do. So maybe you can contextualize this a little bit further. Why the outrage? It's just some numpty nonsense from another idiot flat earther. Who cares? But you guys are obviously very keen to drop this in right at the beginning of the live show. So feel free to contextualize it for my audience, or your audience, as they are now.
Well, for a flat earther, right, to claim that he can make things fall around the center of Earth is probably, first, that would mean Earth would have a center, therefore it would ipso facto have to be a sphere for it to have a center for orbits to exist.
Well, for the audience's benefit, they can hear it.
So that means I don't like people making up made up stories or ideas. I want to do something scientifically. And what I can do scientifically is I can use electrostatics to make things levitate, to change their weight, to change how fast they go up or down. I can make things orbit with quantum levitation.
Lord have mercy.
Lord have mercy. I mean, who cares? This is just nonsense. This
Scientifically, were we called scammers because we say science proves things? Now you can do things scientifically, like begging the question.
Different people
orbiting.
Different people.
Jeez.
Hello. One was Jaron. This is Witsit. They're different people.
Yeah, he was on the same. He was on the same train with that.
Yeah, Witsit back.
Calling us scammers.
No, come on. Witsit, let me get this right. Let's get our claims in order. You're saying Witsit was, what, chatting with Jaron and agreeing and saying we were scammers also? No one's presented that to me. I've never heard that.
What? What are you sleeping, Nathan?
Excuse me, I've never heard that, is what I said. That's a fact. I've never heard Witsit say I'm a scammer. I've heard Jaron say it, but, you know, he's had his comeuppance for it. I've put out all sorts of stuff that he's contradicting him with. I've been really harsh over, who is it he debated? MC Toon. But, you know, that's enough for Jaron, I think. He's had enough punishment for calling me a scammer.
When he says he could use electrostatics to change weight, what is he actually saying? Because this would be a good diet program if it works.
You're interested? Oh, no. Diet program. I spoke too soon.
Well, if you could change weight, why go on a diet? Why stop eating? Just get electrostatic pants or something.
I've not got an answer. Why does this concern you guys so much? Is this the next thing that's going to destroy flat Earth? What? Come on, tell me what's the big deal.
The big deal is someone who is perceived to be a leader in the flat Earth community, who has stepped up to debate on behalf of people who are flat earthers, right? He's put himself in this position. He's saying that there is a all Earth that things are traveling at an equal distance from the center of. Does that sound like a claim a flat earther should be making?
It's not. I'm not his guru, and I'm not the arbiter of flat earthism. So, in that respect, with a very level-headed mind, who am I to tell him what he can and can't claim as a flat earther?
Yeah, no, I'm not saying he can't claim it. I'm just saying it's stupid. It is the dumbest thing I've ever heard of.
Okay, I'll see what you're saying.
Counterproductive.
Let me paraphrase then. You're saying, as a flat earther, it seems nonsensical and idiotic, given you are a flat earther, to claim orbits. That seems silly, right?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay, that I can get behind. Yes, it seems very silly. But didn't we know that already? So what's the big deal?
Well, the making things orbit with electrostatics was new to me. When I walked in, that's what they told me about. So that's why I'm like, what? But to hear his quote about, oh, I can do things scientifically, again, yeah, he was one of the people. I literally got messages from calling us scammers. Like,
Well, then
and he's
say-
on video saying you can't prove anything with science, and then saying the opposite. Oh, you can't. I can prove this, but you can't prove things with science. It's like, what the hell, man? And that now I come into this, and now we're making things orbit with electrostatics. I mean, come on.
But on
he
the
could
big,
have just
in the
he
big
could have
scheme
just
of-
stayed
oh.
with.
just one sec. In the big scheme of
Okay.
things, though, okay. So some guy on YouTube says he can make stuff levitate with quantum locking or whatever it was he said he could do it with. Okay, fine. NASA and the general consensus of the world is that we and the ground we are standing on are falling around the sun. Now, I'm not being offended or anything, but that to me seems like the right fish to be frying. I don't know about you guys. I mean, it's.
Yeah. I can agree 100%. I personally don't really care about the whole Witsit thing. Personally, when I came in, I was actually more dying off the fact that Mitchell from Australia just had a video where he calls Pontchartrain a black swan, which it is, which is hilarious because I'm sure that's driving the Globers nuts. So that was more funny to me. This Witsit shit is retarded as far as I'm concerned. But anyway.
Sure.
Two
But,
things.
I mean,
two things.
there's always going to be parts of the panel where they fill in voids, deficiencies in me personally, right? And over the last week, it's been Adam doing it like a trooper, because every time with discussions over upward rising Earth or anything else for that matter, Adam's pretty consistent. But in this respect, it's to Dell and his claims of an upward rising Earth. That absolutely outrageous nonsense. Adam, at the end of every ad hominem discussion point that was taken away from the claim that Dell in this instance should be making, was quick to point out to the audience, because he's verbalizing it, that this takes us away from talking about elevation angles. It doesn't matter if we're proving Nathan's a shill or exposing him for his contradictions or whatever it is he's going for when he's looking for the win in that regard, rather than just demonstrating his claims and proving them with respect to a nonsense assertion that we rise up. But Adam's there the whole time going, all this does is make flat earthers look silly and take us away from proving Earth's flat with elevation angles. You need that voice of reason reiterating that point at the end, putting a punctuation mark to the fact that what are we here for? What is it that excites me? What is it that makes me get up in the morning and want to talk about and really want to get the really nice computer that it is now working and doing all this? Well, it's the bigger deception, isn't it? It's not what Witsit's doing. Or
Two
Dell.
things.
Nathan,
But
let
hold
me in.
Hang on.
Let me in, Nathan.
Okay, I'll win. I'm in a
That's,
bit of a middle of a rant. You're in, Arwin. You've killed the flow, but you're in. So yeah, I don't know. It's worthy of a discussion in the pre-show, but as soon as John leaked it into the sorry, John, to put you in on the spot. Once you leaked it into the live show, it's like, okay, well, this is going to get focused now for whatever reasons that you guys, not me, feel it's worthy. 40 watching,
Well-
please share the show. Go ahead.
What?
I'm trying.
Go ahead. I know
yes.
you've been rubbed three
Okay,
times. Go
I
ahead,
know.
then.
Oh, yeah, I was going to say let Arwin in, but he already did that. So he was in to tell you, let me in while he was in. That was amazing.
Yeah.
So
That's what I thought too. I was like,
I see it
"Is this
everywhere."
real?"
Anyway, he said, Witt said, and this is why it's important. He said he can make things levitate. Okay. But then he said he can make things orbit. So what's the difference between the word levitate and orbit in our discussion of what NASA claims we are, the globe, the orbits? The minute he said orbit, John was spot on for calling him out. And you're saying, why is that important?
No, I'm not saying it's not. I'm not saying it's important or unimportant with respect to why it's wrong, because it is wrong. What isn't so important is drawing attention to it when it's been discussed in the pre-show, because for me the live show's special. It's I don't know. Dell came on to us proactively to present his claims on the nature of Earth. Respect to you, Dell, for doing that. You've got a positive claim and you've come to the right place to have it critiqued. Hopefully you understand why it's nonsense, given that you know it was pointed out to Dell here by us how it didn't have anything to back it. Now, on the journey that we're all on, we all want to progress our knowledge. Now, admittedly, you'll hear what seems like the opposite of that when I'm like, I'm not making any claims and things of that nature. But I still yearn for the answers that people like Dell are, hopefully, if he's got good intentions, out looking for. He wants answers where he's been left with none. That can only be commended from Dell, just to put a positive spin at the end of the Dell ordeals.
Oh,
but my point is that
great.
If someone like Witsit is out there looking at the same exact premise, looking for electrostatic proof of whatever his incoherent dielectric acceleration ideas are, and he finds them, man, well, I'd be worshipping the guy. I'd be like, wow, you've actually given us some...
What the hell are you talking about?
I'm just doing it so I don't have to say, well, if I give the example with QE, you can totally understand why he's put on a pedestal, right? He's opened your eyes to things that you didn't necessarily have them open to previously. I get my tongue around it. And therefore he's put on a bit of a pedestal, rightly so. Well, if Witsit did that, you'd do the same, wouldn't you? But in his failures... Well, okay, you guys obviously don't like hearing this. Go ahead, Neil. Go ahead.
He brought attention to the scientific method. Okay? Schooled us. He schooled us so we understand. He brought us to Black Swan. He didn't remind me nonsense. Like freaking electrostatics. Come on, I gotta make things.
So what are you saying? What's your point? That you feel betrayed?
No. I'm going with you, Nathan, and I think the Feast of Nonsense is a good thing now.
Hold on. I don't understand how you've just spun that, or agreed with me for that matter, but go on.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. The ideas that these people are putting out here, they're just trying to learn and get an understanding of the natural world. They could be wrong.
And that's dope.
But just because they're wrong, that we should be applauding them for putting out misinformation.
I see what you did there. No. What? Yes, you're semi-agreeing with me, tongue in cheek, but I'll take that because no, you should. When on the road to success, you're going to experience many failures, and when you focus too much on people's failures when they're on our side, like Witsit or Dell, you lose sight of what could be commended. It's best to positively spin these things, especially if they're on our own side, so that. Dell realises I couldn't care less. Hopefully he feels the same. He didn't prove his point, and that's all that really matters at the end of the discussion. Regardless of who's saying they're going to expose who with recordings. It's all nonsense.
That's
that bit.
That premise, Nathan, that premise is where I feel you're wrong. And you said, especially if they're on our side. They're not. Just because they hold one part of an argument doesn't mean they're on our side. On what side are we anyway?
You can't have it both ways. Hold on. You can't have it both ways. You can't tell me that your objections and getting hurt on the collar about this are because he's stepping into the arena as a representative of us, but then simultaneously say he's not on our side. Well, which way do you want to have this? You can't have it both ways.
But fine, a serial killer agrees with you on 70% of your beliefs, but the other 30, he kills people. Is he on your side?
You say he's a Democrat.
No, what I'm trying to say is that there are distinct foundational beliefs and axioms that certain people have about whatever they're in. And when someone says, I'm one of you, you expect those things to be concurrent and equal from both sides. You don't expect a contradiction all of a sudden, like some of these guys are putting out, you say, wait a minute, now orbits, now Earth rising up. Is that what Einstein said? What? I thought you were, here's what happened. I thought you were on our side. Our side is what? The truth. We're trying to all get to the truth. We're all trying to get to what is Earth. And so we have the housekeeping questions. Our
Okay.
side is what can be proven.
Fine.
What
I'll
is
go on that.
provable?
No worries. I'll go along that tact and line with you, 10th.
Thank
The
you.
other, just the other day, I can't remember if this got broadcast or not, but maybe it's in one of the member shows. Might have even been one of the live shows. But I was being told how we are basically hated by everybody. Like, not just the Globers. You name it, everyone hates us. That's what I was being told. Like, you probably hear, well, I don't care. If that's the case, great. Oh, well. Just keep smashing the super chat if you're a viewer. Keep supporting me if you like the truth. What else can I ask for? But in terms of the public persona of Flat Earth, that is who I'm talking about. Everyone hates us, according to what I was told the other day. So, what do you want? In terms of what, we can just lash back at all these people that despise us anyway? Aren't we just going to
No.
pull us like crabs in a bucket? Aren't we just going to be pulling ourselves back into their crappy little realm of nonsense by arguing about their nonsense?
No, we're not talking about crabs pulling other crabs down or people who left the cave and came back and try to get their friends out and then they get killed for telling them what the real world's like. We're not talking about that. What we're talking about is people who at one time held the same doctrine, if I could use that word, and now they're saying orbits or Earth rising up. It's like, wait a minute, that's Einstein, that's the globe language. How's that sneaking into this? And we're calling them out for an error, hopefully to bring them back to where they could not say those things. Now, they can say whatever they want. It's their show, it's their platform. But that doesn't mean we're going to stay quiet when they say these things.
No, okay, I get it. You do want to kind of have your cake and eat it by saying, well, they shouldn't be saying these things. We're going to point out why and how they shouldn't be saying these things.
Well,
they
if
can
you
say what they want.
Let me finish. Let me finish. If you identify yourself as a flat earther, stationary, stars are moving, right? No radius, then don't say anything contrary to that or change your identification.
Don't oppress me. I identify as a black transgender lesbian. I know
I
about these
always,
flat
thought of
earthers.
you, I always thought of you that way, so don't worry about it.
What do I have to
No,
worry
see,
about then?
Nathan-
As a black transgender
Nothing.
lesbian, as opposed to a flat earther, what do I have to
that-
worry about what other
that-
people, flat earthers in this instance, are saying?
It doesn't matter what your skin color is. It doesn't matter that. You at least know you live on a stationary Earth.
Yeah,
Right,
so
they don't think that-
hold
that-
on, I'm leading 10th, whoever's interrupting continually. So if I, as a transgender lesbian, black, obviously, you only got to look at me,
Obviously.
that knows Earth is flat, right? But that is what I will identify as. Call me Tsar. But my point is that
Great.
what do I need to critique Witsit? I know Earth's flat, but I'm not identifying as a flat earther in this example.
Well, you don't have a. Do you have a show on YouTube that talks about the natural world? And
Yeah,
and
but you're having
debates
me on. You're on
topics
it
about
now.
Okay, perfect. Hey, did you know that this guy who at one time seemed to be on our side is saying things that are globe related? What say you?
Globe related, I'd say no, we don't have orbits. It's a begging the question fallacy, and it came from Kepler in terms of everyone else's ideas about what an orbit is. What this guy crazy notion of orbits, that's kind of inconsequential to me. It's just one dude on YouTube. I mean, I've seen guys that can saw women in half and make one end of a box levitate. So what? They're not saying that the world's spinning around the sun, are they? Witsit, is he saying the Earth's spinning around the sun like is disseminated to the general masses?
Perfect. And you've done exactly what we've done is brought attention to it, and we don't think about it anymore either.
That's James Richards who said, God placed the sun, moon, and stars in the heaven for the Earth. The Earth is not up there with them. No, we're not. We're not one of the lights in the sky, but that's what they'd have you believe. Exactly, James. Thank you for the super chat. Good point. Right.
And I
with
think every point made was valid. We can't call it the Feast of Nonsense anymore.
why can't we call it the Feast of Nonsense? That slipped me by also, John.
Right, because the people that are disseminating this information are just trying to figure out the truth. It seems unfair to call it nonsense.
Oh, you're being
Well,
facetious.
regarding-
No worries. I'll pick
I
up on
just-
that too. No, I'm not saying
just
that we
said-
should not critique them. When I take the position that we shouldn't do it, it's because I don't want it to become the primary focus. But every time we do it, we are doing it, even though I'm saying we should not. By virtue of us having the discussion and me saying we shouldn't, we are literally doing it, aren't we? Therefore, it is happening. I can put a complete stop to certain discussions if I choose to. For example, if we start talking about vaccinations, I can just end those conversations. It's not like we have to skirt the issue, which is what we're doing here, or what I'm doing while you make the issue overt, because it's your passion. You're passionate about Witsit. You're all fans. You're all watching. You all want him to say how you see things.
No.
I get it. I'm a bastard
That's
too,
not
John.
true.
I'm
That's
just as
not
bad as you,
true.
John, and if I want to be. Go ahead.
That's not
love it.
true. I don't even watch. I don't even watch or follow. I get everything here from other people who may have found a clip or something. But
Right,
see,
from the
you
super fans who share it with you.
hang on. You're very keen to call out globe heretics, but when it comes to flat Earth heretics, well, you're talking this way.
Yeah, I mean, you
Oh,
can.
come on, no, that was a good one. Calling us fans, I thought that was pretty slick. I like that.
Well, no, the fans are the ones that are sharing it with you. You know, you're saying 10th, this is, not you. That you're getting these links from all the super fans who share the links with you. They're watching, they're sharing.
well-
Lucky old Witsit is what I say. Please share my show, guys, you know, so we can all have this hot topic discussed about flat Earth debate rather than the super fandom of Witsit and his shares that he's getting. Lucky old bastard.
Well,
No,
Can I
it's
just
not-
say,
it's
see,
not just a fandom thing, though. Like some of us have argued alongside the guy. Some of us are on a song with the guy. You know what I'm saying? So it's not just, oh, we're just fans, we care. It's like you think it's cool to be called a scammer, and I hang out with scammers because
Has he said
I
that, though?
think science proves things.
Did he say that? Did
From
he say that,
somebody
Chocolate?
that I argued alongside. Like that's crazy.
Did he say that, though? Did he say we were scammers?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he did.
Pretty
Wixit
sure.
wrote Chocolate a long letter.
Yeah, that was a private conversation though, so I don't know if we could go into it.
Okay, let me just
He
clarify
hangs
for
out
for
with
the audience,
scammers.
right? So, Jaron has been on a anti-science tip. Now, I'm gonna try and be as kind as I can to Jaron, right? In his research, he has mistaken, quote, science, which from this point forth will be hyper-specific about it, which is the scientific method, the empirical method of science, we will refer to as science, in quotes. Okay? Jaron has mistaken science, in quotes, for pseudoscience. Okay, now, in the arena we are in, it's riddled with pseudoscience. In fact, 90%, if not more, of the claims that are science aren't science, they're pseudoscience. So for the most part, Jaron is actually correct. Yeah, when he says these science believers with their making it up with maths, yeah, that's all true. He's right. But there's a nuance he's missed, which is the reason they're calling everything science is because science is empirical, and if you can lend credence to your maths or your nonsensical assertion, like Earthward rising or Earthward spinning or Earth in orbit, if you can take those maths and make the person you're telling them believe that it's empirically validated, you use the word of empiricism. So you say, science proves orbits, science proves the globe, science proves Timotei makes your hair shiny. You can use it in that context because we as individuals trained in the Western world education system understand, because we were trained young, that science does prove things. Now, because Jaron, that is, seen so many people claiming science where it's not proving a damn thing and he can very easily disprove it and show how, he's, like I say, misappropriated the use of science when he's decrying science. Because if he had a subtle change in language, which is to say, pseudoscience isn't proving anything, we would all be in agreement having a picnic right now. Unfortunately, here on Flat Earth Debate, we're disseminating science as the empirical method and then asking those 90% of people with the claims of science to actually present it in the empirical format so that it can have the credence they are stealing. Anyway, with all that under our respective belts, so we all understand the background, with Jaron's misapprehension in tow, he's then, when we say science does prove things, said that, no, given that he's seen 90% of the time nothing being proven and maths rather than science, physics, he said, we are scammers. Now, I can totally understand his perspective. I've even peppered the preamble so that you can, as an audience member, also appreciate how Jaren has reached the position where he's recognised lots of con artists saying they've got science and it turns out not to be, only to hear someone on his own side, like we're moaning about Witsit, saying science does prove things. You can see where that cross wire comes into play. However, in so doing, he also called us scammers. I'm not going to dwell on that too much, but that is the unfortunate truth of this. Now, obviously, I've taken umbrage to that and responded in many ways, but now I want to, in light of actually Bob's death, very much you can reflect on these things and what, in terms of what you cannot achieve when someone's dead. Jaren's not dead. There's a lot that can be achieved with Jaren. Now, Jaren would be an absolutely formidable opponent if he did understand what science was and how it did prove things, because he'd have all of his opponents over a barrel when they said that word. And then he just has to change his terminology to pseudoscience. Why am I saying all this? Why haven't I said it in the past? Well, because it's not my bloody place. Is it? I'm not his bloody boss. He can do what the hell he likes. And is it unreasonable for, as you are suggesting, us to critique where he has attacked us personally with pseudoscience claims? Well, no. I'm going to do this so it's at my detriment. I've got no right either, have I? All right, you could just turn this and spin it like I have. Why are you taking it so personally, Nathan? So I called you a scammer. Yeah, that's right. I'll have to eat humble pie because none of you want to. I'll just put it on me. Yeah, I've got no right to, have I? He can do what the bloody hell he likes. We have to focus on what we do. What we do is disseminate what science is, how it proves things, and how the pseudoscience pretender clowns of astronomy use that word to make you think that they've got empirical proof when they start naming lights in the sky. So yeah, there's a lot that can be achieved with Jaren. There's probably the same is true for Witsit and Dell and anybody else that comes across our path when they're on our side. But my overarching point is if we only ever focus on how wrong they are, and then my example of, well, you've got to be wrong a lot to be right eventually, has just had the piss taken out of it by John, so I've got to go on to this tact instead and take it upon myself to say, no, I'm not in any righteous position to tell Jaren how he should be disseminating science, as much as I am
You
right.
always do this, Nathan. You always do this. You always change it to that paradigm that none of us are in. No one is here that I've ever heard said we want to be Jaren's boss or Witsit's boss. No one even, look, we can only control ourselves, and that's a hard enough job.
You
Okay? That's it.
categorized it. He shouldn't be saying it as a flat earther. So we're in a group with a hierarchy and a structure, and certain people in that group shouldn't be saying certain things if they ascribe to that title. You've put it into that hierarchical position. Not me.
No, well, no, that's one way of, you want to spin it that way? Let me spin it the way I see it then. I spin it this way. He had a channel, it was about flat earth. He's debunking NASA videos. And then all of a sudden, this channel that I'm on with you and that channel and others with him there, all of a sudden are at odds. Well, why are we at odds? What happened? Well, we had an argument about the scientific method. Okay, well, let's see if there's any credible information that we can see who's on the right side of this argument and who's on the wrong side of this argument. We tried that didn't work. Okay, so then now all of a sudden they're saying we're scammers and they're saying all these things, and I've got some other stuff that I don't want to even bring up that they've said. But the whole point is, all right, fine, they can do what they want. Lines have been drawn. They're going that route. We'll go this route. We'll stick to our program. You go with your program. All of a sudden, somebody says, did you hear what Witsit just said? Orbits. Oh, really? Well, I'm not surprised. And then we give a comment and it's done. We're not saying that we're trying to like force them to say other things. They can say whatever they want. Why do you say it that way, though?
Can't have it both ways. He shouldn't be saying as a flat earther, and he can say whatever he wants. Those two things.
No, we're not saying he shouldn't be saying. We're critiquing what he's saying.
Okay. Oh, no, that's fine. James Richard says, whenever a person says science doesn't prove things, it's because they don't adhere to the method. Yeah, they don't understand what the method is and how it would prove things when they say that science doesn't prove things. Because it does, otherwise no one would be hijacking the terminology to make people think that they're proving things when they're not. Shout out to LVA Paul. Have you seen Mitchell from Australia's latest video? I have not. I did see it whizzing by in the chat though, Paul. Thank you for the super chat.
Right,
That's what I was just talking about. Because
well, I just want to say,
Sorry, John. Go ahead.
no, I'm just a little bit triggered. I'm sorry. That's my fault. It's not a moral indictment when I say a flat earther shouldn't be saying that he can make things fall at an equal distance from the center of Earth, around Earth, because that's what an orbit is, right? It's not a moral indictment of him. It's an intellectual indictment of the words that he's using. He should not be saying that if he is a flat earther, is my point.
No, fine.
Not
You did. No,
he's
to be
not
fair, you
allowed
did
to say it.
contextualize it earlier. It doesn't make any sense. It's stupid to say that as a flat earther. Yeah, fine. Yeah, you did go through that. I'm being unreasonable. So, but it's fun. We're having fun, right?
Of course, unless he's got a different definition of orbit that we just don't know. But that's fine. Like personally, I don't really care. So
You
I'm
got
kind of with you,
today's-
Nathan.
I have
You
got
got
today's
today's
video lined
video.
up. I'm just looking for Mitchell from Australia's video to. Here we go. So I'll just promote this before we get on to the next video. If people are going to be disappearing to share stuff, or say Nathan Oakley 1980 sent me, I'd rather they first went to Mitchell because he's automatically getting a like regardless of the content.
There's one chord change mistake almost all beginning to intermediate guitar players make.
Is that so? Right, this is Mitchell from Australia's video.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and welcome to Flat Earth School, the school that's around us 24/7 since the beginning of existence. I'm Mitchell from Australia, and this is going to be the biggest, most epic globe debunking ever. So get your affairs in order, Globers, because there's no coming back from this.
There's a 630 square mile estuary in southern Louisiana known as Lake Pontchartrain. In May of 2017, a man by the name of Lance Caraccioli photographed the Lake Pontchartrain transmission lines that stretched 16 miles from Laplace to Manchac.
I was about to ask if this is new. This is bang up to date. Thanks for sharing this, by the way, Paul. This has come out literally in the last couple of hours. I assume this is the video he's talking about, right?
He said he's been working on this video since January. He just finally had the time to finish it.
As you can see, these lines are a monument to the curvature of the Earth.
Yeah, I remember that saying. Didn't Soundly say that too?
Remember that?
A monument to the curvature of Earth. Oh yeah, what? Planet Orleans?
A little further to the east, when on their way to New Orleans, travelers crossed this body of water on one of the most amazing bridges in the world, the 24-mile-long Lake Pontchartrain Causeway.
It's mad how they get it to look like it's a banana, eh?
Again, Lance...
Look at that. That is what you get when you've got really humid circumstances, right? Look at how bent that little bridge looks. It looks like a roller coaster. Isn't that mad?
But the funny thing is, you would see that everywhere.
Right, not just
Right?
over.
Why is this just one bridge in the entire planet that can show this? Like, come on, this is why it's such a joke.
It's a really swampy area. It's really humid, right? I remember QE describing it. I've never been there, but saying you can cut the air with a knife. It's like really thick. It's just very humid there. It's swampy. But like Chocolate says, yeah, we'd see this all the time though. You know, it would be this obvious, this whole curved Earth thing. It would be this pronounced if Earth was falling away from you at 8 inches per mile squared. You'd notice. And they're saying, look, you really do. If you go to, Lake Pontchartrain and you look at this particular angle, you can get it like this. And then everything looks like you're on a roller coaster. Okay?
Lance's images capture the shape of the Earth.
See? Capture the shape of the Earth, do they? Okay, cool. So we can measure this bridge at 8 inches per mile squared, dropping then, if it's matching the shape of the Earth as you think it's a sphere. No, but we can't, can we? So what the hell?
Did they build that bridge with a water level in respect to water level?
Right. No, there's a waterfall at the end of this, John. You see where this little hooked bit is? No, that's actually a waterfall. It's all like cascading off the end of it.
Yeah, but Nathan, look at that supposed curve of these things beside the bridge, right? That go in that supposed curve. Well, and then look at the horizon behind that. supposed to be a mountain ridge. How freaking huge are those mountains back there?
Oh, it's all bollocks, Arwen. It's just nonsense.
It's supposed to stick out of that curve. They would have been like huge.
Yeah,
mountains.
they're sticking up from behind the curve of the earth, Arwen. What's the matter with you, man?
Yeah, but how freaking big would those mountains be at that angular size to stick out that much of that curve? You see, it would be like Mount Everest behind it.
Quick shout out to Original D Rose. Says, "Don't butcher it, Nathan. Haters gonna hate, especially hate FE debate. Keep killing them with science. We let them name it and claim it. Float it to show it. Zoom and assume. Stare and declare in order to see it to believe." Thank you very much for the super chat, D Rose.
Wait, before you just move on, look at the picture. Do you think anybody's driving over that? What is it? Isosceles triangle that's in the middle of the bridge. Imagine driving that bridge.
Nah, I often drive at a 1 in 3 incline. My car does that.
And you often put a 1 in 3 incline in the middle of a bridge. Not that I in any way could insinuate that the photo's been messed about with. Look at the proportions, yeah? This is what they've had to do, is pervert the proportions to try and build that curve in. And in doing so, look at the ridiculousness of what they do to that at that point. Look at those cars. You'd be cacking it on the one on the left.
Oh, I love it. Quick shout out to Central Goat. It says QE utilizing the death cell to have us focused on the flat earthers on our 6. Oh, right. Yeah. On our 6 with toy lightsabers has worked. Yeah. In one of the members only streams, QE was telling us about exactly what we just discussed with me being in the negative or decrying the position that we should care. Well, QE's like, nah, these are people that are, quote, on our 6, as in gunners behind us as we're in battle, right, about to shoot us down. That was QE's attitude. And Central Go is accusing QE of using the death cell to get us all riled up about fellow flat earthers. I think the inference from Central Go is that QE is actually also a shill just here in place to get us all arguing with people like Dal and Witsit. He does seem very keen to start a war on other flat earthers. Got to agree with you there, Central Goat. Thank you for the super chat. I don't agree with that. I'm just kidding. Shout out to James Richard again. He says the camera is too low to see the curve. When we see it as flat, our eyes are playing tricks on us. Yet when we see it curved, it's real. Right. Yeah. When we see it flat and measure it flat, navigate it flat, use the horizon to establish flat baselines, that's because we're not taking into consideration how curvy it is. Okay. But when we see it like this, that's because we're just seeing it curvy. That's how it is. It's just how our world is. Like this. Woo! I'm on the bridge.
Funny part that we were told that there's this physical geometric horizon that we don't expect to see, we've never seen due to having atmosphere, shit like that. But yet they've got a bridge that they say they have a picture of it because it's a monument to the curve of the earth, to a monument to the geometric horizon we don't expect and never seen before. That one.
Yes.
How do you build a monument to something that you've never seen?
They have a bridge to sell us.
That was good.
Since then, the geometry of the causeway has been profiled by collecting Earth-centered, Earth-fixed coordinates collected with high-precision GPS by
GPS and Earth-centered, Earth-fixed are both flat Earth coordinate system. Where's Brian when you need him? It was him that told me about this. Those are flat Earth coordinates.
Kozlowski.
Got someone else, or was that on the video?
Modeled in 3D by Walter Bislin, and photographed from 155-foot elevation by Lance. These 3 techniques agree. The shape of the Earth is clearly round. You can find more imagery by Lance on his YouTube channel, youtube.com/Soundly.
So we've got a claim that Soundly has captured the shape of the Earth with these videos and images on his YouTube channel. And videos like this claim to show that the Earth is clearly round, being so confident in his observations that he titles these videos Flat Earth Debunked and Witness the Curvature of the Earth, Flat Earth Debunked. So game over for Flat Earth, right? I mean, every glober should be using these videos and images from Soundly as proof that the horizon is physical Earth curve that blocks things. Well, here's Mick West taking to his website, metabunk.org, claiming soundly proving the curvature of the Earth at Lake Pontchartrain. The Lake Pontchartrain power lines demonstrate the curvature of the Earth. The same Mick West that's been on Joe Rogan Experience not once, but twice, leading to ZMEScience.com writing an article using Mick West's post of Soundly's observations to also claim the power lines over Lake Pontchartrain elegantly demonstrate the curvature of the Earth. Game, set, match, flat earthers. The image is also being used in memes, and other YouTubers adopting the images as proof of Earth curve.
This is a set of power lines on Lake Pontchartrain, and it just so happens to show the curvature of the Earth.
Some people even using the images at Lake Pontchartrain in debates against flat earthers as proof of Earth curve.
I'm not sure if you've become aware of this. I'm sure you guys are aware of this. It's a place called Lake Pontchartrain. It's the transmission lines in Louisiana, United States. This image was done originally by a YouTuber named Soundly. There's tons of videos talking about all of this. And this image was virtually modeled on a spherical Earth with a circumference of 40,000 kilometers. The model made a prediction that if zoomed in at the specific height, what we should see. This image is what the model showed. And when this shot was done in reality, that's exactly what you see.
As you just heard, the glober's argument now becomes comparing a model of the globe to what we see in reality.
I'm arguing about the geometry of the planet. I jump to what is some of the best evidence for curvature of the Earth, and that is Soundly's Lake Pontchartrain causeway observation. The length of the causeway makes it possible to see the curvature of the Earth directly, given a clear enough day. When atmospheric clarity allows for it, you will be able to see the causeway literally curving with the Earth. What is amazing here is that this observation was virtually modeled with the assumed size and shape of the globe. And when you compare the computer renderings to what was actually observed, they match as expected. This shows that the round Earth model made a prediction, and that prediction turned out to be the case. This is great because only models that are able to reliably make predictions are the ones that should be followed and trusted. And I think it's safe to say that the round Earth model has passed that test.
Well, hold on there, Red's Rhetoric, because this is where this video gets juicy. It is claimed that this image shows Earth curve. It starts with the assumption that the horizon is the geometric leading edge of a sphere capable of physically blocking things like those transmission lines. Now that Walter Bislin has rendered a globe model over the top of the image using the assumed geometric constraints of the globe, we now have a claimed distance measurement to the horizon in this image. So from the observer's stated height of 10.3 meters, the distance measurement to horizon in this image is 11,700.
No way. No way. Has everyone just twigged what Mitchell's about to do?
Yep.
Yep.
Clever.
Clever. I could kiss you, Mitchell. You're a genius.
And 54 meters. Now that we know the distance to the horizon in this image, we're going to see if this actually does match the official geometric limitations of the globe, like Red's Rhetoric claims it does. To avoid any cries of strawmanning the globe's official geometry, MC...
I just want to put one more thing out. Do you hear that? Do you hear that sound of my voice while I'm trying to get the words past my smile? You could hear that in Mitch's voice just then. Did you hear it?
Yep. Yep. This is fantastic.
This is delightful. I've got goosebumps.
We speak.
It's the sound of being in the know.
Cool. Right, I won't ruin it for the audience. Let's continue.
C-Toon has pointed us to the Earth Curve Calculator on a website that uses the correct maths in the formula for the distance to the geometric horizon on the globe. The link takes us to another one of Walter Bislin's websites, the Advanced Earth Curve Calculator, where we can see the formula used for the distance to the geometric horizon on the globe indeed matches the official globe geometry of 1.225 times the square root of the observer's height in feet, or 3.569 times the square root of the observer's height in meters. And in agreement with MC Toon, Wolfie6020 also recommends Walter Bislin's Advanced Earth Curve Calculator.
So I was very happy this morning to see an email from Walter Bislin. Walter's new Advanced Earth Curve Calculator sets a new standard because it gives you a visual representation. This is really an excellent calculator for allowing us to conduct real observations and then using this calculator to predict whether the real observations are matching a globe. So thanks again, Walter. Your contribution to research is just outstanding, and I can't speak highly enough of your work.
Great, so now we can use the Advanced Earth Curve Calculator, approved and endorsed by the Globers, to confirm if the distance to the horizon measured at Lake Pontchartrain matches the official globe geometry. The observer's height in Stanley's image was 10.3 metres. Entering this into the Advanced Earth Curve Calculator from 10.3 metre height, the official distance to the geometric horizon on the globe model must be no more than 11,460 metres. This is the official geometric limitations of the globe from that height. That means that the distance...
Before he makes his conclusion, is everybody in the chat clear about what Mitchell has detailed so far? Because it's the first half of the modus tollens. Everyone clear from the chat? If you're unclear about what Mitchell has now prefaced, let me know with the number 2. If you're all clear in the chat what Mitchell's about to do, let me know with the number 1. They might be thinking, why you
use the reliable model, isn't he?
Before we poison it for the audience, right? I just want to know at this point, because obviously we do have a mixed bag of audience members, and I want to know, as everybody else, as we just did and we went through it a couple of minutes ago, is everyone else going, yeah, man, wow, this is epic? Or are people scratching their head as he lines up the modus tollens to make the conclusion? No,
It's
not a
a
single.
unanimous one.
I was going to say
everywhere.
there's not a single 2. Wow. Okay, let's crack on. This is brilliant, Mitchell.
Distance to the horizon in this photo taken by Stanley has to be no more than 11,460 metres. But as you can clearly see, from Stanley's observer height of 10.3 metres, the distance measurement to the horizon in this image is further than that, at 11,754 metres. For those playing at home, that means that this image of Stanley's, used by so many Globers as proof of Earth curve, this horizon, in fact, exceeds the geometric limitations of the globe. This image isn't Earth curve proof at all. In fact, it is the Lake Pontchartrain Black Swan. That's right. This image captured by Stanley at Lake Pontchartrain is a black swan.
Boom! Oh
Rest
dear.
in peace.
The Lake Pontchartrain Black Swan. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. Why did none of us think of this? The demarcation point for distance is so nailed down by them that it cannot be disputed. It's not like the oil rigs, right? What are they going to say? Refraction? No, you've all told us how this is Earth curve. This is a monument to Earth's curvature. Unlucky.
With a
let's
very,
call this-
very accurate model that models correctly, so we know it's right. So we know we're using the right thing. Brilliant, Mitchell. These are all their claims, and they're the ones that have gone to the effort to model it to prove their Earth curve. Thank you.
Very
Wallace
good.
and Mitchell,
Mitchell,
Thank
brilliant.
you. That saves us quite a lot of work.
This should be Black Swan 5.0.
This is brilliant.
Just as a quick point, did they use the Walter Bislin Earth Curve calculator that calculates a horizon below sea level?
Yes, they did, yes.
Okay, just making sure that was the same one.
Yes, the horizon that they're claiming in this image when comparing it to the begging the question proof of nothing perspective hijacking Earth curve calculations used by Walter Bislin would claim in their maths that this horizon point at about the midpoint of the camera that's taken the image is actually below surface level in their geometry. Utterly absurd. Obviously, you can't see a physical geometric limitation to your view called Earth curve below surface level, but that is precisely how the differential calculator we fondly refer to as the begging the question proof of nothing perspective hijacking Earth curve calculator utilizes the differential between eye level and sea level to infer there's a geometric horizon that we cannot see and only exists in the maths, not in pictures of Lake Pontchartrain, is below surface level. That's correct, John.
Right. So every horizon is technically a black swan as far as their geometric claim is. Like even if it was 1.22 times the square root of the observer's height and feet.
Right.
This one, the ballers have gone to the effort to model it to prove it's a black swan for us.
Yep. So it saves us a lot of trouble, doesn't it?
Sorry, Nate.
I'm just saying it saves
a
us a lot of bother.
clarifying Question.
Sorry, go ahead, Chocolate. I've rumpushed you twice saying the same. I was just saying it saves us a lot of trouble, but I'd already said it, and now I've said it 4 times, and Adam said it too. But go ahead.
No, I just want to make sure. Can you build a monument to a refracted horizon?
Apparently so.
What?
Depends where you'd be expecting to see it.
I mean, short of burying the headline, do we need more? I mean, I know Mitchell's probably put more work into this. Do we want to listen to a bit more of his video?
I have a quick question. Is this Mitchell from Master
Yeah.
G, Australia? Mitchell, Australia?
Yes, yes.
Okay, good, because I'm giving
So
him
how
props.
does
I
this
want to make sure I'm
devastating
giving the right
discovery
person the
debunk
props.
the globe? Well, this black swan asserts Earth's geometry as a sphere as a positive assertion. This can be used in a Modus-Tollens argument. If P, the Earth is a sphere with radius 3959 miles, which is a positive assertion by the globers, the consequence of that in geometric terms is, then Q, every distance measurement to horizon has to be no further than 1.225 times the square root of the observer's height in feet, or 3.569 times the square root of the observer's height in meters, because that's the straight line tangent point horizon in the Earth curve maths that asserts the horizon is Earth curve. This is what every glober claims when using this image as Earth curve proof. But embarrassingly for them, not Q, the distance measurement to the horizon in the Lake Pontchartrain image exceeds the geometric limitations of the official Earth curve maths. Therefore, not P. Not only is this Earth not a sphere of radius 3959 miles, the Earth is not a globe. Earth curve geometry does not match what we see in reality, nor does the globe model rendered over the top of the image. So what does that mean, Red's rhetoric?
This is great because only models that are able to reliably make predictions are the ones that should be followed and trusted.
And I think it's safe to say that the globe model has absolutely failed that test, Reds. The globe model can never
Again, props. Good use of sound bites to rub it in their face.
be followed or trusted, and this is why Soundly's image of Lake Pontchartrain debunks the globe. This is humiliating for the globe believers when their Earth curve proof turns out to debunk the globe. But this by itself isn't the most epic debunking ever. Yeah, this gets a lot worse for the globe. Just when you think the devastation for the globe is over, this isn't the only one of Soundly's claimed Earth curve proofs at Lake Pontchartrain, is it? Let's have a little look-see at the Causeway Bridge. From a height of 41.2 metres, the Advanced Earth Curve Calculator tells us that the distance to the geometric horizon on the globe model from a 41.2 metre observer height must be no further than 22,910 metres. But in Soundly's image, we are told this horizon distance from a 41.2 metre height is far beyond that at 26,457 metres. So in another one of Soundly's Earth curve proofs, the distance to the horizon in this image again exceeds the geometric limitations of the globe. This image is another black swan.
Boom! Right, I'm going to do a quick shout out. Shout out to James Richard, who says, notice at the other end of the lake is perfectly flat. The sphere is symmetrically curved in all directions. Come on, man. Yeah, indeed. Thank you very much indeed for the super chat. Ed?
This is one of the on this picture. You can see actually how the image has been perverted. You can see the same humps in the foreground, so you can see the perversion that's going off in the lens. Now, the way they did this is I demonstrated it. I still stand by it because it's been unrebutted by them. But I did it with Lego. I built a Lego Lake Pontchartrain. If you look up their setup, they've got the telescope looking out across the lake, and then they put the camera up to the telescope. What you got to do is kind of get things out of kilter and use the extremities of the lens, and you can get these curves. I'll go and dig them out, but I've taken a straight Lego bridge, repositioned the image within the same lens, and I can make the bridge bend using Lego. And that's kind of what they've done here. It's just repositioning of the image in a lens and then taking another picture from that. That's why you're getting this distortion. And this second picture does demonstrate that more with, like I said, the little humps you can see. They're still a little perverse. You know, you'd be taking off Dukes of Hazzard style, even on the front ones, never mind the back ones. But it's starting to show you how they're using that edge of the lens.
Looks fun, though.
It'd be crazy, wouldn't it, on that?
Not sure if my car can handle that, but we could always try.
Over 100 people watching, so another call to action. Big shout out, first of all, to all the people who've shared the show. That's why there's over 100 people watching. But if you've just joined us, welcome. Thank you very much for hitting one of those links that people have been sharing out. If you could do the same, it'd be really appreciated. I didn't expect us to be in a position to be sharing a friendly video and asking you to go and let Mitchell know that at Nathan Oakley 1980 sent me. And while I normally say leave a nice comment because you don't want to get it deleted, in this case, you can say it with all sincerity. That would be, why have I balled that up? Say Black Swan. Pontchartrain Black Swan. So yeah, indeedy.
Black Swan. And two of them in the same place.
So yeah, there's a link going by in the chat now, which is to Mitchell from Australia's video. So go and give him some love. He definitely deserves it. Leave him a like. Subscribe to Mitchell if you've not done so already. I don't normally give this long list of things to do when you're getting a link to go to somebody. It's normally just let them know at Nathan Oakley 1980 sent me. That'll suffice. But in this case, woohoo! Let Mitchell know how much we think he's ace, because we do. Oh, I'm very excited today. This is very, very good stuff. I am going to listen to a bit more if it's all good by you guys.
Yeah, just keep the one that I put up for Monday. Finish this one. This is great.
Yes.
What I love is the joy in his voice as he's doing this video. You could hear it.
Yes, you can really hear it.
Are you not laughing inside, Chock? Because I keep grinning myself. I thinking, oh dear, this is
Yeah, of course. This is their baby. That's exactly the reason why it's so funny. Because this is the one that got thrown in our face for years and years and years. Well, we got a picture of the curve. We got a picture of the curve. So, yep. Good.
Yeah, but it's just another deception, isn't it? I mean, what they've done is they've managed to make a lot of noise around soundly, distorting the image by going through a camera and through a telescope and getting to the edge of the lens and putting the maximum amount of lens distortion in so the bridge looks more curvy, and then claiming it's a monument to Earth's curvature, and then getting it promoted around everybody, getting Mick West promoting it. But, you know, this initially just had a load of people going, here's my image of Pontchartrain, looks nothing like that. Just looks like you'd expect it to look, even though it is really humid. But that's
Nathan.
what initially got presented. This, by contrast, is much better. So unlike 50 the other day, where it's like, oh, what, the Black Swan fallacy? So next time someone mentions Pontchartrain, oh, you mean the Lake Pontchartrain Black Swan? Now, just one more thing, right? The other day, again with 50, it's like, why are you still here? And my answer to him was, all roads lead to flat Earth. Now that seems to be without exception. Now, this is the most extreme example of it, because this is claimed to be a poster child of curved Earth, and yet what do you know? Mitchell's found a shortcut through the bushes to a flat Earth from Lake Pontchartrain. I just can't quite believe it. Absolutely
50
epic.
You mean 50 as in unorthodox? The same guy who came here and literally told us with his own voice that Pontchartrain is the monument to the curve of the Earth.
Right.
Can I ask a question about that? If it's the monument, then does that mean this is the geometric horizon that it could only be seen if there was no atmosphere?
Right.
Yes. What's even funnier than that is after all the fanfare with this Pontchartrain, right? The guy who made this video, Soundly, disappeared for a while. He was out of the loop. Then the Black Swan showed up, and then he showed back up. And when he was presented with the Black Swan, what did he call the geometric horizon? Word soup. Now,
is this a subtle
that's pretty
dig?
funny to me, being the fact that this is the guy that supposedly got the picture of the geometric horizon. All of a sudden, that now, being that it should be physical, is word soup. It's great, Soundly. This is good stuff, man.
Oh,
Keep it up.
yeah. Word soup, right, Soundly? When we talk
Yep.
about the Black Swan. Yeah, that's probably why he had to downplay it to such a massive extent. Because maybe realised, hang on, if they start measuring Pontchartrain, they might realise that that's a Black Swan. Shout out to
Yeah,
D
because
Rose.
all-
Says, hold on, Black Swan on steroids. Yeah, I don't know about on steroids. It's just there's thousands of them, right? John said it earlier, tongue in cheek, with the reality of the geometric assertion that we've got a horizon below surface level means that all of them are going to be beyond geometric limitations. Now, sometimes they match up. That's the only downside to that. But what is it? No Atmo Day? I mean, they're cornered from every single perspective.
Nathan,
that's the great. Sorry, that's the
no, you're
greatest
so
part of it.
excited. I'm sorry, Chocolate. I was just gonna say there's a bunch of super
Go for
chats,
it.
Nathan.
Well, I just wanted to say that even if the horizon was 1.22 times the observer's height in square feet away from you, right, it would still not be below surface level. Because that's part of the definition of horizon is where the surface level meets the sky. So it'll never be that geometric limitation that they want it to be.
Imagine being the guy that supposedly is now infamous for taking a picture of the curve of the Earth. You go away for a little while, and when you come back, all your compadres are telling the flat earthers, the opposition, that they've never seen the curve of the Earth. Can't measure it. Imagine being in that position. That's why he had to go. It's a geometric. It's word soup.
Few
This
shout
is
outs.
fantastic.
Another shout out to D Rose says results: Earth curve death, Earth curve wake, Earth curve funeral, and Earth curve cremation. Celebrate Black Swan 5.0. Thank you very much for the super chat, D Rose. Really appreciate the support. Also, shout out to Retro Bill. Let's just scroll down. Shout out to Retro Bill. Yeah, but what about all those white swans you're ignoring, Nathan? Yes, if you want to ignore the Modus Tollens and focus on the Karl Popper and misunderstand it, then yeah, that's a good point, Retro Bill. Thank you for the super chat. Also, wow, shout out to James Williams. Wow, big super chat. Love the show. Thank you for the support. Absolutely incredible. Really appreciate it. Thank you so much.
You know, 50 was saying, well, what about all the other times that the horizon does conform to Earth's geometry in the Earth curve calculator? When it never does. There is never a situation where you will see a horizon below surface level.
Well, who cares? Make them
That is
tell
the
us
dumbest-
what the significance is if you get one day something that matches and another day. Let them make the claim.
I think
You're now saying if I get a match, it means something. Well, what does it mean?
You're right, Adam, but maybe I've not quite fully picked up on what John was saying, and maybe the penny's starting to drop. Are you saying that there is no possibility of ever getting one to match, John, because of the fact?
No. Yeah, exactly. But even if it was 1.22 times the observer's height in feet away from you, it is still not below surface level. It cannot match. The whole idea is ludicrous.
To match what? Geometry that came from a flat Earth elevation angle?
Yeah, but the flat Earth elevation angle is surface level in their maths also, right? When we've got curved maths to hand. In the curved maths, right, it does actually denote in Besselin's, what's the metabunk? I can't remember what the third one's called. They're all based on the same exact premise and the same maths. And they all have surface level. They've got to establish horizontal. Do you remember a couple of months ago we were saying for all the fundies that were asking us about curve horizontal and bent straight and all that sort of stuff? We're like, no. In your own maths, your geometry requires that horizontal be horizontal, that level be level. Here it is, surface level, right? Now, obviously, the wider implications of that we've gone through. But what John's now saying is, because of that fact, right? What is surface level in reality? Well, it's the surface level, isn't it? The level of the surface that you're standing on. Okay. Now, that in itself's a flat Earth proof. But that aside, when they take their maths, which has got a picture of a globe and marked with an X labeled horizon, geometric tangent point below the surface level, how the hell can you ever have it match when it's always below the surface level, the geometric horizon that is? And the obvious answer is never. Right, John?
Right. There is no such thing as white swans in my analogy. They're talking about white unicorns. And what we're giving them is a black unicorn? No, there's just no unicorns. This is just surface level. It's a differential calculator between two flat planes. There is no Earth curve geometry. It's an absurdity.
How you going with your Lego, Adam?
No, I was going to say that's what we cover when you have your eye line horizontal, right? The fictitious one at your eye line. established by your zenith, if you could establish it. It'd be hard at sea, but easy on land. And then the differential between that and the surface of the Earth is what John is talking about. And then what they do in the orthographic view is draw a circle trying to represent the globe. And then you see that angle, which is a depression angle between two horizontals, to the most incredible extreme of nonsense that you live on the globe.
Okay, we will listen to a bit more of Mitchell. Hopefully we'll get Adam to say he's found his Lego, because I would like that to make it onto the live stream. And what I'm also going to do, just to buy Adam time, are you actually hunting that out, Adam? It might be hunting it out.
I am now. I'd kind of forgotten, but I'll give me 2 minutes.
Yeah, if you can dig that out, with, but there's 100 people watching, and more than 100 people watching actually, and I do want that to be strapped onto the end of the Pontchartrain example, given that you can literally demonstrate the, not that it's not obvious to anybody who knows how bloody camera and a lens works, but you can show it in action on a much smaller scale, which is great. Not to mention the Black Swan part of it, which is the most important bit. I'm not trying to take away more from you than Mitchell. No one will ever be able to do that. Let's just get that clear. But the other thing I'm going to do, I'll say this for the audience's benefit, at the point that I would normally round out the live show, is to continue live, just so I can hammer the computer, just play a game or something, just to stress it out. Because today the computer guy did come over and fill the air gaps in my block between the GPU and the, whatever you want to call them, heat pipes and the block that's attaching it to the cooling system. He filled it all up with thermal pads. And initially, when he tested it, I was like, that's exactly the same. Hasn't made any difference. However, since running the show, I can't quite believe the temperatures. The GPU's at like 39C. It's never, ever, it's not normally that cool at idle. It's running the show currently. So I just want to stress it while live, which is literally the most stressful thing that this computer does. So once we've concluded with Adam's pictures, we'll listen to a bit more of Mitchell from Australia, and then I'll remain live, although I'll thank people just in case, unlikely, that there is any crashes after that point. So I only need to do that once. But once that's done, hopefully this computer will carry on for 5 years now. Now he's had to add the back off it and put those thermal pads in. Anyway, I'll play a bit more from Mitchell till Adam pipes up. I'll leave the lines open so you can interrupt Adam.
Stanley, you've debunked Earth curve and the globe again. But why stop here? Let's keep going through this little gold mine animation comparing globe renderings to Stanley's images. From a 1 metre observer height, the distance to this horizon in this image is 3,919 metres. But the official globe maths states from a 1 metre height, the distance to the horizon has to be no more than 3,570 metres. Meaning the distance in this image once again exceeds the geometric limitations of the globe, making this Lake Pontchartrain Black Swan number 3. Now changing to an observer height of 9.5 metres, the distance to this horizon in this image is 12,088 metres. But the official globe math states from a 9.5 metre observer height, the distance to the horizon measurement has to be no more than 11,010 metres, meaning the distance to this horizon exceeds the geometric limitations of the globe. For those still playing at home, that makes this image Lake Pontchartrain Black Swan number 4. Increasing again to an observer height of 39 metres, the distance to this horizon in this image is 24,530 metres.
Is it just, oh my God, I can't believe how many black swans there are?
Yes, that's exactly what that was.
But the official globe math states from a 39 metre observer height.
Okay, I will just, now I've heard Adam say he's pretty much ready to go. So before we get Adam's images, right, I'll do this again. So this is Mitchell from Australia. If you're unfamiliar with him, go and subscribe immediately. He's a gold mine. This is not uncharacteristic of Mitchell. Let's just put it that way. He's exposed, captured many a black swan. That's not all he does. He does a lot. He runs the Flat Earth School. The guy's a legend. Go and subscribe to him immediately if you're not already. And let him know. At Nathan Oakley 1980 sent me. Leave him a like. Let's just refresh it and see if he's had any more. See if anybody has actually gone over. I'll be able to. 111 likes. Lots of people have gone and let him know that they think he's ace in the last 10 minutes. Brilliant. Thank you for all of you who've done that. Hopefully you came back. Anyway, so that's Mitchell from Australia. Check him out. Go and subscribe. Let him know we sent you.
Guarantee he'll never say he can prove orbits.
Okay, well done for tarnishing it with that. Okay, Adam, I've got your image on screen, so tell us what we're looking at.
Okay, yeah, so mean, like I said, this is 5, 6, maybe more years ago.
You muttering?
Sorry, yeah. So this is a number of years ago, 5 years plus, I should think. And it was just born out of curiosity of what that Pontchartrain picture was. And like I said, I did notice the strange setup, so I thought I'd have a go myself. So what I did was got quite a long kitchen table, as I built my own Lego Pontchartrain, as you can see. What I did, I took a picture, look, and I've just, after I've taken the picture, drew a straight line using paint across it just to show you where the bridge is. Now that's the standard. Use the camera, line it up. What I then did was what I said, copy the setup and take a picture in the image, get the image positioned in the frame in such a way that you distort the nature of the image. So there's the straight line still. And now you can see, look, I've made the bridge bend. It goes up and down from the center point by placing it in a specific point in the lens. Can you see? At the start,
yes,
we could the bridge curve. And obviously I haven't. It's all Lego. It's still joined together as cubes. But it was literally just the repositioning in the lens that allows you to create a false curve from the actual structure of the lens. That's it.
Marvelous. That's excellent. Thank you very much for digging that out, Adam. I remember you doing that on Iron Realm Media about, what, it's got to be 7 years ago.
Is it?
Yeah, but even after Adam does that, they won't let go of it.
No, they refuse to let go of anything. But Adam, was that 7 years ago? Am I right?
I'm going to go and look it up. It's got to
They
be
won't
5,
let
6
go of
years.
it. Sorry, Tim.
They've got to let go now. Mitchell's destroyed their model.
Subscribe today, Mitchell from Australia. Okay, so I'm going to do my outro as though we were actually ending the show. So with that, I'm going to say, first and foremost, if you are watching on either Nathan Oakley 1980 or Nathan Oakley Premiering Streams, then stay tuned, as there will be an after show to follow. However, if you are watching this live, you need to stay tuned anyway, because I'm going to stay live to stress the computer out, which is a bit bizarre. So yeah, I'll not bother running an outro. Shall I run an outro, or shall I just pretend? Like there's an outro rolling now, and we're actually going into the after show?
Pretend. Well,
I'll just ask one of the mods. Can you just transition us into the after show, and I'll do the theme music myself. Da-da-dun, da-da-dun, da-da-dun. Oh no, we've got a different theme tune now. What's the theme tune now? Dun, 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 dun. Man, that was a weird moment, because I just flashed back, to
Great
7
show.
years ago, and that was the flat Earth debate intro about eons ago.
It was the 3rd of May 2018, Nathan.
Why don't we plagiarize this one? Dun 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 dun.
And don't get me a
dun,
copyright
dun,
strike. What are you doing? What are you doing?
I was going to suggest that one of the videos that we hold on. I was going to suggest one of the things we actually go over is the old flat Earth debate and criticize, and kind of hold ourselves to the standards we have now. If we had, if those same standards existed, like in 184.
Oh no! I don't. Do you know?
Nathan
I don't think we
would
should.
hold on. Nathan would be destroyed. Go get one.
No, it's not that I don't care about me being ignorant. I've got no issue with. The problem I've got is that whenever anybody leaves a comment on one of those old videos for me, obviously I see it like a fresh in the YouTube studio bit for comments. It comes up at the top of the list. Not, you know what I mean? It's not buried in some old video if they've just commented today. Anyway, normally their comment is, "You were so much more tolerant back then," or "I know why you've now lost your rag watching some of these old videos," or "I know why your tolerance level's gone down." In other words, what I would fear is that when looking back by contrast, how much more reasonable I seem, which I don't necessarily want compared. My ignorance that I can deal with.
Yeah, but that would be a mission impossible if you go back to that old Nathan.
Dun, 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 dun.
Yeah, but there was an argument.
That was a good one, Tim. Sorry.
I think it was Ruhif that came on, and everybody was arguing within an affirming the consequent and didn't know it at the time. Because I think this is right about the time that QE got involved with the show and laying out logical fallacies. So, like Ruhif had established the affirming the consequent as truth, and everybody was arguing within that truth about it. I think it, if nothing else, it would be tempering in our tongue lashings of other people.
I just think all those things had to happen for us to end up where we are now. So I don't knock it at all.
Right, and I'm saying that the Feast of Nonsense may necessarily, like I said it jokingly before, but maybe it is a necessary step to get to truth from the globe. Maybe you have to go through those deformations
Hold
of the
on.
mind.
Are you saying like the Heartbreak Kid, when the girl said if she wasn't a cocaine addict, she wouldn't be the woman she is today? Oh, I get it.
Maybe.
Yeah, that's funny.
I don't understand that analogy at all, Neil. Can you break that down? I have no idea what that meant.
You never seen the Heartbreak Kid with Ben Stiller?
No.
Okay, so it's funny. Go watch it. You'll figure it out.
He's
Alrighty
trying to
then.
say to my comment saying that we had to go through all of that stuff earlier to end up where we are now and assessing shit the way we do now.
Well,
So
in that
he's-
case, if you're going to give that basis, maybe it is a way to sniff it out.
I knew you were gonna get one for that.
Well, I'm just saying, like, maybe there is merit to, like, not necessarily to the Feast of Nonsense, but sort of like spreading your wings to try to think on your own. You know?
There's another Feast of Nonsense I'm waiting to show up because now, like I said before, like I was wondering, like, where are these flat earthers that claim the earth is rising up? I didn't even think that was a real thing. I just started to think flat earth society nonsense was just that, just nonsense. Now,
worse than-
all of a
it's worse than that,
all of a
Chocolate.
sudden, here they are. So now
Worse than
I'm
that,
like,
Chocolate.
go ahead.
No, it's worse than that, Chocolate. According to John, Dell's got wings to spread out.
Well, just saying, if you take Nathan's point as valid, which, I kind of do, that, there's some respect to be had in trying to think for yourself like Dell has.
Right.
Like,
And so when your child, as they're growing up, is doing the same thing that we all did, trying to figure out life and things about life, the adults are there to say, oh, I'm glad you're thinking about the subject, but here, let me show you something. And that's all we're trying to do. We're trying to come alongside and help our fellow Dells and Witsits, but they don't like that.
well, yeah, but their kicking and screaming shouldn't necessarily cause us to be as harsh on them as we have been, maybe.
Well, I recall
I'm waiting for the
it was Dell who-
concavers.
I recall Dell started cussing first, and then the guy yesterday, one of Dell's people, he started cussing first when they ran out of words to use in the civil debate. Now, why do that? Just prove your claim.
Right.
Now-
And when my child becomes petulant, I don't, necessarily sink to their level with them. I put them in their place.
Right. Which is
Does
my
does
hope.
anybody think the concavers are going to show up sooner or later?
I'm wondering
Like-
when they're gonna come around.
They poisoned the Feast of Nonsense really early on, and then sort of vanished along with Lord Stephen Christ, sometimes referred to as LSC.
Oh man, I want to hear all about the reverse curvature.
Were you not around?
They're showing some sort.
Hold on, Chocolate. I thought you were around back then. Were you not around for the Lord Stephen Christ nonsense?
Yeah. But
Thought
like,
you
I've
were.
never actually. I don't know. Like, I think maybe I was a little bit new at the time because it was kind of like concave. That's crazy. But I mean, now we got Rising Earth showing up, Ethereans. I mean, just bring on the concavers. Why not? Let's go through the whole feast.
Didn't that guy go to jail, Nathan?
Yeah, threatening the president.
Wow. See, at least we're all level-headed insane here.
From your point of view, you're saying. From the rest of the world's point of view, you're another.
I say we're flat earthers, Neil. I mean, I know these
That's a
in these
loaded
quarters,
question.
maybe.
I got so many puns going through my head.
Can't get him out, right?
No, I do. I just don't want to ruin the show. So Nathan, let's go with Mitchell.
Pardon?
Let's keep Mitchell's video going. Finish it.
Oh no, I'm stressing the computer now. We're into the after show. I thought I
Oh,
made
you're
that
not
clear.
going to finish the whole.
No.
Okay, go to my pictures. Go to my pictures and
No,
master B
I'm doing
that I
something
put
else
there.
now. Well, they'll have to wait till tomorrow. I'm really sorry. That's why I did the whole, dun-dun-dun, dun-dun-dun. That was the point in that.
Right, but in the after show, you in the past have shared my pictures and master B. Why is it different now?
Because I'm
Because
playing the
he's running
game
the
to stress
stress
the
test.
computer out. No other reason.
Okay, we get off the treadmill and stop the stress test.
No, I just want to stress it out. Sorry, we'll have to wait till tomorrow. Oh,
No worries. I won't be around next week or part of the
are
following
you trying
week.
to blackmail me?
No, on 40th wedding anniversary. So
Very
I'll be
good.
gone.
Excellent. Congratulations,
brother.
Ted.
Yeah, thank you.
I
God
had
is
no
good.
idea you were that old.
You know how old I am. Respect your elders. Or
Yeah,
apologize.
major congratulations, bro.
Yeah,
Yeah,
seriously.
thank you. Yeah, don't start elder abuse now, please.
Can I ask a personal question? I know we're on a live stream, so it's probably a
Sure,
bit-
on a live stream for the world to know, ask a personal question.
Still in love?
Of course,
Excellent, good answer.
more than ever.
I'm still in love after 25 years, actually. 25 dating, 23 married. I'm sick to my stomach because my wife is 1,000 miles away.
Yeah, you were saying before we started recording. I do feel bad when I know I just went silent when you said it, but it's because I feel bad. I know how you feel.
Yeah, my wife and I had ours last week, the 15th, July 15th.
Congrats.
7 years, man. 7 years. Known each other 10, but 7 years marriage. Yeah.
Congrats, bro.
Thank you, brothers.
Well, for the rest of you, you can go to Master B and look at some classic pictures of Lake Pontchartrain as it was being built, and some vintage picture, and then some side-by-side pictures, and then some boats floating in the air.
Yes, yes, I concur with 10. Please, Nathan, post these, man. These are very, very
can't.
amazing.
He can't. He's doing a stress test. He's got a marathon next week.
So I did want you to know, that
Okay, hello.
One
1 second. Yes, okay. We're starting with your beautiful picture of a boat, a sailing boat on the horizon. Wanna go
Oh,
through-
you're that one. You didn't go before that for the Lake Pontchartrain.
Okay, I'll go to the beginning if you want.
Yeah, go to the beginning. It's the series of 5 pictures first, and then
The
follow.
tall, narrow ones.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you can see that one, the one to the top right, from an aerial view. We know water finds its level when it's at rest, and you can see all this water and lakes, and then there's the bridge from an aerial view. Okay. I wonder what the elevation is on either side of the shore of that lake. Would it be 0 to the water, since that's what they say? And then you see the pictures of the bridge from different angles. What's that? What's that?
Nobody said anything.
Okay, sorry, feedback. Go to the next set of pictures. Some black and whites there, showing the bridge. Really cool. And then the one in the middle to the left shows the building on the other side from a part of this bridge. That's pretty interesting. Horizontal there. Next one is an old version. Just saying 24-mile long Lake Pontchartrain Causeway, world's largest bridge, direct north-south New Orleans thoroughway route. Next one, this is a nice one. Lake Pontchartrain Causeway Bridge, 24 miles long. Interesting picture. I wonder why it's not matching the other ones. None of these match the other ones that they showed.
what's that one floating, Ken?
Hang on. Next picture of the power lines. Are you there at the power lines?
Yes.
Yeah, you can see convergence, vanishing point, same thing artists use. You can see those power lines diminishing in size, but are they literally diminishing in size, or are they the same height above? That's pretty obvious here what's going on.
Same height.
Same height, yeah, I thought so. But why doesn't it match the next picture of the power lines? If you put those two pictures side by side,
It's
why
not the
is
same
this one-
place. This is Planet New Orleans.
Well, it still should happen if it's not the same place. I mean, it's power lines on Lake Pontchartrain. If they're curving in one place, you got to be curving in another. You can't wait for the weather to change. So the weather causes the curve, or optics cause the curve, or humidity cause the curves, or perspective cause the curve. It's got to be a geometric curve. That's my point.
No, that's word soup.
Okay, sorry. And then we go to the other one. It shows it, flat water and the power lines converging to a vanishing point. And then the last one was from Flat Earth Banjo with his, he put this one up. Thought that was interesting as well, why the curve is missing.
Oh,
Why
said
do you only on
last one.
certain days?
Hold on. Am I in the wrong place?
You should be in your studio stress testing.
Which photo should it be on?
The one at the bottom, it says Flat Earth Banjo.
Seriously,
Oh,
you're
yeah, I
on
got
the
it.
right one.
Yeah, I'm on the right one. Okay.
Yeah. So why is all these pictures not showing the same curvature that one did, as Adam showed why? Now, if we go to the next set of pictures, has nothing to do with Lake Pontchartrain. You got that one with the sailboat and the city line behind it?
Yes, that's the one I started on.
Yeah, okay. Now look at that just for a second or two. Now the next picture, I zoom in. So go to the next picture of that and zoom in. And what's happening in the distance? Is that an inverted? Why does that building look like it's miraging somehow? And where is sea level actually based on? Wouldn't it be right at the middle of those two things miraging on themselves?
Yeah.
It's funny how the eye and optics is, isn't it? If you go to the next picture, the big horizontal one, you can see a picture on two different times and see kind of the same thing. Interesting how a day and humidity and all kinds of weather could change things. We'll end with the last two. Now, did the Chinese invent some kind of floating cargo ships that don't need to touch the water? Is this what this proves?
Mick West has also used this image.
Well, I'll tell you, this technology's got to be great because there'll be no rough seas. There's no friction on the hull because you can just fly over the oceans to bring the cargo from China. What's happening here? Next picture, more of a distant shot of it. See, the boat is not miraging on itself. And where the boat bottom is, that's sea level.
Quick shout out to Original D-Rose, who says, second, wait till you all see the refractive effect photos. Thank you for the super chat.
That's it. It's just kind of, if you use your brain and say, as Chocolate said, if this is true of Lake Pontchartrain, we ought to see it everywhere. And I just showed you don't see it everywhere.
Cool.
Well, I'm going to have to go with Soundly and say it. The Earth curve claim is like word soup, isn't it?
Yep. I'm with it.
Yeah, we'd agree with him. In other words, it's like when they tell us that the modus tollens has a straw man as the first premise statement. Like, what if Earth's a sphere?
Isn't that your claim? I thought I was going crazy the first time I heard that.
Yeah, that's a total straw man. Earth's obviously a measurably flat plane. Why would we ever assert it's a sphere? That's crazy.
That is the torturous,
It is.
torturous position that the Globers find themselves, isn't it? Where they have to suddenly start denying their own claim. Again, like Unorthodox /50 who was in the other day, when I'm asking him about the tangent point he wants to start asserting, where would we see it? Where is it? what are we going to do to identify it? And he's like, oh, I'm going to have to investigate that and research that. It's like, hello, we're talking about Earth curve, but for Fundy on the anti-flat Earth side, suddenly it needs them to scratch their heads rather than saying, well, it's the horizon. They can't just say that anymore. It's bizarre.
Yeah, because he's one of the old school ones who was here telling us that the geometric horizon is physical Earth curve. He was. That's why it's like, oh, can't say that now.
Well, let's give them an A for credit for their relentlessness and perseverance to force it down people's throat. Give them that much credit. They love their curve.
It's not that they love their curve. They don't want creation to have a creator.
So we are still live. Please share the show. I don't know how many people are watching at the moment. About 90 odd people watching. So we are going to keep this discussion going for a little bit longer. And just so I can say I've tested the computer under the worst possible circumstances. But yeah, we will keep this show going. Smash the super chat and PayPal link if you did want to support this channel. Big shout out to Michael. Go on.
I was just going to say, I think the more I hear it, the more I agree with QE that they don't know what curvature is.
Well, when they're telling us that triangles are bent lines, that the inconvenience of having them be triangles means they need to be bent into non-angle based curved shapes for convenience sake. These people are delusional idiots at this point. The anti-flat earthers, most globers don't know any better.
I disagree with what John said there because Chocolate and I have talked about, and Chocolate used to work, I think, at one time at a lumber store or sold lumber. When these ballers go in there for a 4x8 sheet of plywood or something, or 2x8, they look at this one's bent and curved. I need a straight one. They know what it is.
Yep.
Well, they're not demonstrating that they know what it is. I'll say that then.
You're right.
When that reality hits you in the face and you got to talk about the ground you're walking on and saying that that's curved when it's literally measured, observed, and practically used as flat. That's pretty much a problem.
Sea level, surface level on all those pictures. Sea level, water at rest. It's in a level. It's a tool. I mean, it can't be any more clear. You got the LIGO with two canals next to it as water levels to make sure it's flat and straight. I mean, it's right there.
All right, Chen. So with that being said, all these adept, trained, certified carpenters, yada, 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 pilots, whatever you want to have you, that know these things about angles as they're cutting wood, as they're flying planes, as they're navigating whatever they do, as they're surveyors, that means they're liars.
No, it doesn't mean they're liars because they'll call it locally level, or they'll say this is your local dome about you if it's the celestial sphere, as you've seen in the pictures, and they're in the middle, and there's
it's locally flat.
Yeah, it's locally flat. So, so at some point, the locally flat starts bending, and that's supposed to be a geometric horizon. Excuse me, I'm being called.
Everywhere I go, wouldn't that be considered local?
It is a concession, yes, because there is no flat spots on the sphere.
Thank you, John. Appreciate that, Refractor. That's your point.
Any blowers in Discord have any problems with 4 black swans from Lake Pontchartrain, which was dubbed the monument to the curvature of the Earth?
I don't know, are there any Globers actually in Discord? If so, I'd have expected them to pipe up already based on how gleeful we've all been about the Lake Pontchartrain Black Swan.
That's gonna sting.
Is it fair to say that this is monumental, historical, what has happened today, thanks to Mitchell and his video?